Hello, hi. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. If this is the first video that you've ever seen of me, I do make videos regarding being a psychiatrist and the journey that I have had in order to become a psychiatrist. And this video is going to be about the stage where you are in college. Sorry if you can hear the background noise. Whether or not you should go to an HBCU versus a PWI, if that's a decision that you are trying to make, or if you're just interested in hearing why is it all this noise all of a sudden. Really? Anyway, really. So I wanted to make a video just discussing my thoughts on the pros and cons of going to HBCU versus the PWI. Do I suggest one over the other, and my thoughts in general. So this was kind of inspired a little bit by a debate that I saw on Brandon Marshall's podcast called I Am Athlete. I really like Brandon Marshall. I like his whole mental health awareness spin or interest that he has, and incorporating that into his career. And I just really thought his story was very interesting and fascinating. And so he has a podcast, and I did see an episode where there was a young lady debating an NFL athlete or an ex-NFL player. I think he is, I'm not sure, but she was for athletes going to HBCUs, and the guy was against it because he felt like young players might forfeit the benefits of going to a PWI, the exposure, the resources, just the boost to their career that it could provide, versus an HBCU that I don't think are Division I schools. They don't get as much time on television. Their talents may not be as recognized, and so he felt like it was unfair to expect young athletes to forego all the benefits of going to a PWI in order to go to an HBCU. So that's kind of a whole different topic, but in general, I did go to an HBCU, and my experience was pretty good, I would say. I mean, so the reason I ended up going to an HBCU was because a lot of it was because my brother went to an HBCU. I'm gonna be real. He went to an HBCU and he really loved it. He thought it was great and he raved about it. And so I thought, okay, I think that's something I want to do as well. And also because I knew that I could get a scholarship. I didn't know that, but I thought it might be a little bit easier to get a scholarship if I went to an HBCU. And that was the case. And also, I just wanted to have that experience of being around other Black people, being around people that are like myself, and not having to feel like I'm a small minority, and just being comfortable and being around people that I'm comfortable around. And so I thought it was a great opportunity. It was just like plus. I can go for free. I can be around people that I enjoy. Not that I enjoy, that I like I'm comfortable with, that I'm used to. And when else would I have that experience where I'm around mostly people that look like me, and we're all trying to improve our lives, basically. So like a positive environment with people that look like me. So I thought, yeah, let's do it. And then my brother, he loved it. So I thought, yeah, I want to try this out too. And so I ended up going, and you know, my experience, it was good. I wasn't, of course, the most popular or anything like that. And so I didn't get the whole like party experience, probably like some other people have, but it was cool. It was cool being around smart, intelligent Black people. I actually was probably one of the least affluent people around me. It was a lot of very wealthy Black people, which was something I wasn't used to. It exposed me to Black people from all over the country, different everybody was repping where they were from. That was a big thing. Like, where are you from? Where are you from? You know, so it was just cool, like meeting all different types of Black people and just working together. And it was really, that part of it was amazing and really something that I treasure, and I'm thankful that I was able to experience. And but some of the downsides I would say is that the resources were not there. The classes that you could take were limited, just basic classes. I mean, people ask me all the time, like, oh, what classes should I take in order to be a doctor? I don't know, because every school, the classes are different. And the school that I went to, we didn't even have a pre-med program. All we had was kind of like the track that you can take, like the prerequisite classes, but there was no program dedicated to pre-med. So I took organic chemistry, general chemistry, physics, other biology, random biology classes, and I was just a biology major. There was no pre-med. So you could be a biology major, you could be a chemistry major, you could be a psychology major. Those were kind of the general majors that people would major in if they were trying to go to medical school. So, and I would meet with my advisor. A lot of people ask me, what classes should I take? Please talk to your advisors at your individual school, and they will guide you on what classes to take, because they've worked with students who have matriculated through their school and have gone to medical school, who've been successful with that. So please talk to your individual advisors. Every year, I'm pretty sure I would meet with an advisor before I would choose my classes. And I had an advisor in the biology department. And and you meet with them and they tell you, okay, you should take this class. This class might be a little bit harder, but it might look better on your transcript, that type of thing. So please talk with your advisors. You have advisors at your school, please use them. I went through that, but there weren't a lot of classes. And then when I went to medical school, my medical school was a PWI, and the classes that they had, oh my goodness, it was just, they had the most specific classes that I've never heard of. They had an entire nutrition school, a school of nutrition. I was like, what? Because I was really into nutrition, and had I had that exposure, I probably would have taken some classes. Like if I had went to my medical school, the undergrad of my medical school, I would have definitely taken nutrition classes. I would have taken more specialized classes to my interests, which I didn't have the option to do at the HBCU that I went to. So the type of classes that you can take might be limited. The resources are limited. The CAF was terrible. There was this wonderful lady though that worked there, and she was amazing. She would greet everybody, "Hey, sweetie, how you doing, baby?" Like, she was wonderful. She didn't like me though, probably because I'm not the most expressive. But my guy friend, she would give him extra food. Oh my gosh, like, she loved him. I would get the crusty fries, but he would get the fresh fries. And so I don't even remember her name, but Miss Sweetie, I loved her. But yeah, so it's like the experience of it was great, right? But the food was terrible. Like, I think that first year I mostly ate cereal, because some of the food just looked horrible, like inedible. So I would eat cereal sometimes. If the food didn't look good, I would just eat cereal. And then later on, me and my best friend, we would order like a pizza. And that's probably how I gained 10 to 15 pounds in my freshman year. The dorms itself weren't that bad. I mean, I feel like our rooms were bigger. Like, my room was pretty big compared to, I went to another friend's college. I visited her at a PWI, and her room was tiny, like super duper small, because there's so many students at their school. So they didn't get a lot of space. But my room was actually pretty big. It was an older building, of course. It wasn't like newly renovated or anything. We did have a little bit of a spider problem. A little a little bit of a spiral problem, which I don't know how I got through that now that I'm looking back, but because I hate bugs, but yeah, it wasn't that bad. But yeah, the buildings were, some of them were very terrible. The male dorm was horrible. It was not the nicest. It wasn't, but we were young, and it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. But they definitely could have done better with the dorms. My second year, I actually moved into a newer dorm, and it actually was really nice. One that they had just built. So that was really nice. So my second and third year, my dorm was really, really nice. So yeah, so that wasn't that big of a deal. What else? So the dorms might not be as nice. The food is not as nice. When I went to my medical school, their caf was ridiculous. They would have lobster days, lobster, crab, and the line would be out the door. The food was amazing at my medical school. Food was off the chain. It was just whatever you wanted. Oh my goodness, it was so nice. Their gym was amazing. It was like a 4-level gym, state of the art, just whatever you wanted to do. It had a track, it had a basketball court, it had a pool, it had everything. It had several floors of cardio equipment, weights, whatever you wanted to do. At my college, the HBCU, we had one room for a workout room, and it was in our student center building. It was one room, and then we maybe had 3 or 4 cardio machines, and it had some weights, and it was decent. It wasn't terrible, but it didn't compare at all to the PWI gym. But again, it was because the school was a lot bigger. It had a lot more students, so they had to have a big gym. But actually, the gym at the HBCU was fine because it would be nobody in there. So I remember it would be fine. It never was super crowded, so it worked. Where there wasn't as many people that went to that school, so you didn't need a 3-story gym, What else? I would say those are kind of the biggest differences. And the resources, not having as many classes available to you, maybe not being able to network as much, and just the facilities just not being as nice, the food not being as good. However, the experience, I feel overshadows all of that. Being able to make friends from all around the country, and just get that exposure to different types of people that look like you, and it just can really encourage you and inspire you. Some of the smartest people I've ever known, I met when I went to my HBCU, and it just really expels a lot of stereotypes and myths that are drilled into our heads, that we can't do certain things, and it's no, that's not true. So, and there are rich Black people, there are wealthy people that have had generational wealth, and so that was really great to see. And I wouldn't change it. If I could go back and go to a PWI, would I? I don't think I would, because I just really appreciated that experience, and there's no other time where I would have been able to experience that. And I know some people's argument was, you're not being prepared for the real world when you go to an HBCU. If you go to PWI, you have more experience in what the real world will be like. But my thought is, you have the whole rest of your life to be in the real world. Let me have a little bit of time where I can be nurtured and not have to worry about like racism, or is this person not giving me a good grade because I'm black, or is my study group plotting against me because I'm the only black person? Like, you don't have to be worrying about that for like at least 4 years of your life. Like, if they don't like you, it's because they don't like you. It's not because you're black or anything like that. So, because I know that is something that can be on some of our minds, like just wondering, like, did I not get this opportunity because of my skin color? And when everybody's black, then you don't really feel that way as much. So I don't know, I feel like the experience, the feeling itself overshadows the lack of resources and the lack of facilities and things of that nature. Now I do kind of wish I could have had different classes or more exposure to certain things, but I wasn't the best at networking. Like, I think had I been more outgoing and had I been more prone to networking, I probably could have gotten a lot farther or gotten more out of my HBCU experience, because I actively rebelled against networking. I hated that word. They did encourage us to do that a lot, like network, go to this event and network, meet new people. They were always pushing that, like work together to help each other. But my awkwardness, it just wasn't allowing me to do that. So I think that is where I may not have gotten the most out of the experience. But you definitely, if you were more of an outgoing person, you definitely could have gotten even more than what I did out of it. But I think what I got out of it was pretty good. So yeah, my thoughts are, I am very proud of the school that I went to and thankful that I was able to go there, and I wouldn't change it. I really wouldn't. I met some awesome people, had some amazing experiences, and I thought it was great. When I look back to that time, it was a time where I didn't have to worry about like racism and, microaggressions and all of that type of stuff. Of course, there were people that got on your nerves or that you didn't like or whatever, but the racism part of it was like not there. And so that was just like a breath of fresh air to be able to like just study and grow as a human being without that being a part of it, So those are my thoughts. I've rambled on for quite some time, but thank you for watching this video. If you have any other questions or concerns, or not concerns, that's what I say to my patients. If you have any other questions or comments, you can leave them down below. And thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.